Wall Street ended another tumultuous week with another big loss on Friday. The Dow fell more than 900 points, but the week also saw the biggest one-day point gain in history, following word that a $2 trillion economic relief package would pass Congress. The Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, or CARES, was signed into law by President Trump on Friday. Joining us to talk about what is in the package and how it may affect you is CBS News senior business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Jill, let's start right there. How is this bill going to affect Americans? What are the big takeaways?
I think the big takeaways is that we really are seeing a lifeline come from Washington, D.C. We've got three aspects, big aspects of the plan, and we think about individuals first. Well, you mentioned earlier in the show those checks, $1,200 checks to anyone who makes less than $75,000. That amount does phase lower as you approach $99,000. Just know that if you make less than $99,000 as a household, your adjusted gross income, you're going to get a check. There's also another $500 per child. Very helpful. Again, have to be part of that income. But for individuals, the biggest aspect to me is the expanding of the unemployment benefits. So the government is tacking on 13 weeks to whatever the maximum is in your state, and also providing a check of $600 a week on top of whatever your state unemployment benefit is. So that's for the individuals. There's relief for small businesses and corporations. I think the small business part is really important. There are loans that are available to cover your payroll, your rent, your utilities, and those loans from the SBA through the Small Business Administration would be forgiven as long as you have the same amount of money going out towards payroll that you for the next 8 weeks that you did in the prior run-up to the virus.
Jill, when do people get these checks and how?
Well, you know, it's going to be really interesting. From the checks, the direct payments, if you have a record on file with the government of a direct deposit, so maybe you're a Social Security recipient, maybe you filed your taxes electronically, that's going to be the way you get your money. It'll be a few weeks. But if for some reason you still get paper checks, this could take up to 2, 3, some people would think even 4 months, simply because the government doesn't have the facility to print checks, and this could hold you up. Unemployment benefits should be coming pretty quickly after you apply. State systems got clogged up, but we're hearing 2 to 3 weeks is when the unemployment benefits should be received.
Jill, we've talked about this economy feeling like it just came to a standstill. As we're starting to feel some of the impact, can you look ahead a few months to have any indication as to how much worse it may get?
Well, I think that we're at the tip here, and we're clearly in a recession. We had the IMF chief say that the world is already in a recession. Many of the economists I speak to say that this is at least sort of a march through the summer event. So we're going to see a recession, which is loosely defined as 2 negative quarters in a row. But I think that we're going to see the economy really come to a halt right now, slowly start to begin to unwind a little bit. And then hopefully by the time at the end of the summer into the end of the year, we should come back. And I put an asterisk on that. That is predicated, say economists, on the fact that the virus is contained. They worry that if we reopen too quickly, we dip down again. And that's why they're watching very closely what a lot of these governors are doing.
That's the big question, Jill, about whether this is a V-shaped recovery or a W, and that is whether you sink down and come right back up or dip along a little bit and continue to have trouble.
Right. I think that the first part of this, when we first were hearing about it, everybody did talk about that nice big V. Then we sort of in the middle of it, and we say, oh gosh, maybe it's an L, like you just go down and muddle along the bottom. But I think that we're sort of looking at probably a U, and hopefully that means that we sort of bounce around the bottom and then come back up. The W, which was a double dip recession, meaning we seem to be better, things open up again, but then the virus continues to spread, and then people freak out. That's what we would like to avoid. One big plug here, if you're a small business, go to sba.gov. There's great information on there how you can access those loan programs.
Always a good idea to support small business. Jill, thank you very much.